chimney from the old cabin. Well, old Doc Jones and left his bones. He's on his way back home. He did not have a child. He met young ones with a smile. Known them all from the day of their birth. Doc Jones heard them cry. They first opened their eyes. From his hands they came into this world. Ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. There ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. There ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. Well, old Doc Jones has left his bones. He's on his way back home. His leg in a field down by the lake. The tractor had flipped and gone buck wild. Doc Jones, he got there, not a minute left to spare. Doc Jones took his leg but saved his life. Ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. There ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. There ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. He's on his way back home. His chimney, it would smoke to let the townspeople know Doc Jones was waiting there to help. On that final day, before he went away, Doc Jones doused the fire and he laid down. Ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. There ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. Ain't no smoke in the chimney from the old cabin. Old Doc Jones and left his bones. He's on his way back home. Doc Jones and left his bones. From the mountaintop, you see the places that I've been. People lost trouble, frozen in a stance. Got a simple answer, most will understand. Come take the wheel, just get up and dance. Yeah, just get up and dance. Pack up all your worries, vacation in a trance. Close your eyes, forget your life.
87.9
FM. Just get up and dance. Seen the little children, no cares in the world. Smiling little angels, little boys and little girls. When the music started, the feet began to move. Started with a spark, ended on the groove. One fine afternoon, basking in the light, couple said the vows to everyone tonight. Dance floor stood empty, eyes all on the bride. Father wiped away the tears and slowly stepped aside. Dance, just get up and dance. Hang up all your worries, vacation in a trance. Close your eyes, don't get your life with the music in your soul. Start a new romance, just get up and dance. time. Before they even knew it, they were dancing in a line. Dance, just get up and dance. Back up all your worries, vacation in a trance. Close your eyes, don't get your life with the music in your soul. Start a new romance, just get up and dance.
All right. So that was Flatland Harmony coming at you with first Ain't No Smoke in the Chimney, and the second track there was Get Up and Dance. Once again, you can catch them at the Bluegrass Jam every Sunday at the Mousetrap, as well as this coming week they'll be playing Willard in Franklin, Indiana, side on the 16th, the Side Door in Plainfield on the 17th. So check them out, listen to some of their music, and have a good old banjo picking time. All right, let's move into some current events. So a really exciting thing that's happened here recently was that a paleontologist shopping in an amber area came across a piece of a fossilized dinosaur. Now, finding fossilized dinosaur parts in amber isn't anything new. However, this one actually had feathers attached to it. Now, it's been theorized for some time now that dinosaurs actually had some feathers similar to bird feathers, probably a little bit smaller and things like that, as they didn't fly, but a lot of ways we believe that birds are descendant from dinosaurs. They have a common ancestor somewhere along the line. So this is the first time that we've actually had proof in the form of the fossilized amber with the feathers. Now, it was from the tail of a 99 million year old dinosaur. It includes bones, soft tissues, and feathers preserved in amber. It was pulled out of a amber pit in China. Now, the breed of dinosaur that was found is going to be from the Cretaceous area. It's going similar. It's from a raptor size or a raptor animal, so it's the same family as, say, the Tyrannosaurus Rex or the Velociraptor. Roughly the size of a dried apricot would be the size of this thing, so it would be able to stand in your hand just fine. Now, based on the structure of the tail, it believes it was a juvenile, as well as no, it could not fly. So I always thought that was pretty cool. Thought I'd share some of that. The other thing going on is we always you hear stuff about invasive species of animals and plants and things like that. Here in Indiana, we deal a lot with honeysuckle, which is an invasive species. Currently, Australia is dealing with an invasive species. It appears that back in 2001, fire ants were brought over to the Brisbane port from South America, and they've taken a foothold and are really thriving down there. Now, fire ants, for those of you that don't know, are little red ants that have a venomous bite that burns and causes severe pain. Red welts and things along those lines. They tend to swarm, so if you get bit by one, you're going to be bit by many. The other thing is some people could have anaphylactic shock problems with it, so they'll actually go into anaphylactic shock and pass away from that allergic reaction to the actual ant bite. As of right now, they're anticipating that it could trigger up to 3,000 anaphylactic reactions in Australia each year. The government is trying to figure out the best options to go through and try to eradicate the issue off of the island, since they are non-native and they do come from the Americas. So that's your current events for the day. And let's listen to a little bit more Flatland. Next song we're going to listen to is The Great Squirrel Stampede, and here they are.
Greeny pulled the trigger, so John Peter's running now. Over to the sticks back in the box. Judge said his mind, there's a bunny on your head. Better watch your step, or you're gonna end up dead. Ran into the desert where the Colorado flowed for the wicked harvest of the evil seed they sowed. Over to the sticks back in the box. Boss came around, they were clothes on his tail. Plus some booze rising and I want but no bail. Calling him at sunrise, pick up on Never's past. When I shot him with no jury trial, that made the days last. Over to the sex back in the box. Running's never easy. Shoot really right. No, the judge will get you when you done killed his wife.
Once again, that was the Great Squirrel Stampede by Flatland Harmony. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. It appears that even though we did get a late start, and I am sorry about that, my guest for the week has decided not to show up. So, I'm going to try to do the best I can just to show you it, to hold out for the remainder of the hour here and talk to you guys. Some other events that are going to be going on in the area that you guys should be aware of is there is going to be a tribute show to an individual who died last year that's really started a big push here in some of the local music scenes to fight against addiction and the terrors of heroin. That will be happening this Thursday at the Mousetrap. Let's see here. We've also got the Indy Lightsaber Academy has a class at the Y at the City Way at 6:30 on 12/13. So that will be Tuesday at 6:30. We've also got Huckleberry Funk and Audiodacity are going to be playing at the Bluebird down in Bloomington on December 10th, starting at 9 p.m. There is a $5 cover there. Ladies are free before 11. Doors are at 8. We've got the bear with me just a second. Got the Holiday Bass with DJ Troll and Charbonneau. That's going to be at the Root Cellar Lounge. It will be Saturday, December 17th at 10 p.m. and runs all the way till 3 a.m. There is no cover. Doors are at 9 and music is at 10. All right. Well, we're going to be continuing after my show today with some more Sunday Fun Day here at the radio station. Listening lots of little bluegrass tracks on 87.9 The Bottom, WBTM. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I'll be back with you after a little bit more of some Flatland. Here they come.
Gonna tell a story, right old but very true. Happened in 1822. Great state of Indiana. Barely 6 years old. Promised fortune to many, not the few. They were led to believe with their own hands they could succeed. Save their souls with earth's darkest cold. So they packed up their families, headed from the coast, chasing sunsets to the promised land. sight to see. Giant old growth forest rich with trees. It's been said that if a squirrel had to travel across the state, there'd be no need for him to touch the ground. Stay up in the branches, safe as he could be, simply walking free from tree to tree. So they started in their work, began digging in the dirt, felling trees to clear the fertile land. In the spring of 22, there were many things to do. Clear the land, raise the family, plant the fields. Harvest wood from the trees, build many frontier needs, building homes, warming bones, and cooking meals. Crops began to grow about fall of bounty, they were known, proving that the work was not in vain. Prepare for the frost, so nothing would be lost. Bounty to ease the darker days. What I'll tell you now, you may or not believe. The squirrels left the comfort of the trees. Well, they swam across the river, living 5 million strong. Out of hunger, they started a stampede. Traveling swift through farmers' fields, they made the most of every meal, leaving nothing on the bread but food or seed. A great scurrying horde had come to square the score. Some came back for the reaping of the trees. There's a lesson to be learned, whether nature takes a turn. Balance must be struck with all we see. Do ill against your will, your fortunes will be spilled. Given back to nature to be freed. Something feed it will repeat, with the promise she will keep, to bring back the flowers of the spring. A fully quenching rain will wash away the pain and wake the sleeping fields from the ground. Well, a fully quenching rain will wash away your pain, a promise never broken or unbound.
All right, and we are back with Spaceboy's Braingasm. That on 87.9 WBTM, The Bottom. That was the sisters and brothers there. It appears that Sarah Cote has shown up. She is a local painter here. We are going to be talking with her about her work and what she's doing currently, and about some of her influences. She is a very, very talented painter. You can find her on Instagram, as well as she says she has a website coming up, and her work is featured in a few different locations here around Indianapolis. How are you doing this morning, Sarah?
I'm really well. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of exciting. Having been a local artist here and selling my stuff for about a year, it's nice to be featured and to be appreciated. You know, people tell me they like my work, but when they actually want to talk to me about it, gives me kind of a good feeling like I'm really starting to reach a larger audience.
All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to make it and be the first guest for my show here. So, as far as your style of painting is concerned, how do you classify that?
Well, I'm not classically trained, but for the most part, I would say that my whole movement is making art that's accessible for the masses, something that's affordable and attainable that everyone can appreciate. I want things that are colorful and full of movement, and for the most part, that's my theme, is the color and movement and life. And so sometimes people ask me, what do you do? And I do a little bit of everything. I do nudes, I do landscapes, I do sceneries. I'm happy to do commissions for people. I wind up doing several dogs and portraits. But I think when my paintbrush lets loose, I don't know, sometimes it turns into an octopus, and other times you may have a female figure.
I did go through a lot of your Instagram there and take a look at things. It looks like you actually do a lot of animals of different kinds. There are octopuses, a lot of owls and things like that. Is the animal theme something that's important to you, or is it just something that tends to happen?
It is important to me. There's a big appreciation, like I said, for the color and movement of life. And then owls have always meant something to me personally. They're supposed to keep you safe. I guess they were representative for Minerva. I don't know, shout out to Miss Nichols at Northview in middle school, but she had this owl she kept on her desk that she said was kind of keeping surveillance of the classroom and would keep everything safe. And so ever since then, I've kind of had this little superstition from that crazy 7-year-old woman that was my social studies teacher. And owls have always meant something to me. I keep them around the doorways and stuff. So I've been doing quite a few owls for that reason. And then animal species just kind of take grasp of my consciousness for the most part when they move, especially water scenes and birds of prey. I really like those, and so I find that those kind of just take hold of my paintbrush without my acknowledgement, like of me actually knowingly do so. I don't always plan what I'm going to paint beforehand. A lot of times I just start to apply color and go from there.
All right, excellent. Now, I know that you are the primary artist at Deviant Brewery, as well as you have art featured at the 5547 Project, which is a coffee shop in Irvington, correct?
Yes, indeed. That's a Coal Yard Coffee there in Irvington. It's a pretty neat little establishment. They feature many artists each month, and they do a big First Friday thing with concerts that try to feature local musicians. Their stage is not huge. The acoustics aren't really the best, but it's awesome that they have that there for up-and-coming artists that are trying to be featured. And the art that they feature is really good. He brings in people that are all around Indianapolis. Occasionally he'll have some Chicago people try to come in. Chicago's always trying to creep their art in over here. But it's really just a beautiful thing, and I feel proud having my art amongst these other artists. There's this sculptor there named Ben Jackson who's worth checking out. He does a lot of tentacles and dragons, and then some of the other artists that are there just have very raw techniques. And like I said, they're not always classically trained as well. And so that's part of this new movement of having art be more attainable and affordable for everyone, you know.
Excellent. Now, the Wandering Peacock Gallery and Workshops, what exactly is that?
That is a place in Westfield, Indiana, so it's a bit of a trek up north, not too far here from Broad Ripple. It is absolutely fantastic. It's downtown Westfield. If you're an artist, you can have your art featured there. She charges $10 a month for wall space and then 25% commission of what you sell. However, she will host a show for you. So she's happy to let you bring in a musician. She has a nice courtyard where you can have a fire pit, and then she provides some cheese and wine for it. And for the most part, I've had some really successful shows up there. I've been able to feature some different groups like the Naptown Jug Busters and just some different DJs. Thanks to Rich Hines, he came out with a bunch of 45s, and that was a really cool thing. He has a certain thing he can do with Victrolas as well, but I wasn't quite able to afford that one quite yet. I'm hoping to get there. And in her studio, she teaches ceramics to anyone that would like to take classes for a very minimal fee for workshops. And then she allows me to also do painting workshops there, which are like those wine and canvas. I mean, you don't necessarily have to make wine a part of it. You could bring whatever you want to entertain yourself. If you want to bring a pot of chili and have a cook-off, like... But it's a great place because it does have that comfortable atmosphere, and that I do have a little bit of power because I have a studio space there as well.
Excellent. And so is there any place in particular you tend to draw your inspiration from? Or is it really just whatever the mood strikes you or where your paintbrush takes you?
Yes, largely painting is a big part of therapy for me, depending on what I'm going through. I did these 2 elephants recently that are featured in Giacomo's down in Irvington, and it looks like they're almost embracing, and at the same time they could be fighting. And I'm not sure if I named it love, but it's intentionally like this love-hate kind of thing going on in this field of flowers between these elephants. And I had just a really spectacular day where I had another artist tell me, you know, like, oh yeah, you're an artist, so what? So-and-so is my friend, and I'm here, and I have this. And it was really like, sometimes artists don't always encourage each other. I'm always, like I've mentioned with each one of these places, you can have your art here. Like, I'm always trying to encourage more people doing this, because as an artist, I've been an artist my whole life, and I've only been a professional artist about a year now, and I was bold enough to go ahead and quit my job in June, and I'm not homeless yet. I might be looking for a part-time gig, but I am making money with art, and I'm feeling passionate about what I'm doing, and that's what's important, is doing what you feel passionate about and not just letting your life go to the man. So a lot of times my art is primarily inspired by things that keep me happy when the world is kind of controlling what I have to do. You know, I want everyone to have something beautiful to look out on their wall, no matter what their day is. And so when someone sees a piece of my art and they're like, oh, I really like that, it doesn't really fit my budget, I'm like, well, tell me what your budget is, and I can create something similar or something that you would like even more just for you. Just, I'm willing to work with it because I want people to have art. It's what makes art life worth life for me. I like to look at things. I get lost in the trees when the leaves are gone because it looks like stained glass to me. So sometimes that's what I'll paint, you know, and the trees, it's funny, but it just works out for me. And no matter what I'm experiencing in a day, somehow it filters through that brush. And some days I'll make 10 paintings, and then for 3 days I won't paint, and then I'll notice that the anxiety has overwhelmed me. I'm like, oh, I really need paint. So for the most part, art is therapy to me, and it's encouraged by what I see or what I need to see, if that makes sense. It
does. So now, do you have any events or anything that you're going to be featured at coming up anytime soon?
Sure. At the Garfield Coffee Shop and Eatery this next Saturday, I'll be doing a workshop. There's 15 available spaces, and we're going to paint. And I was thinking the theme for this next one will be birds of prey, and I'm going to give people an option of painting an owl or an eagle, or I might choose some kind of not as discernible bird that could be perceived as more beautiful, or maybe even a Christmas peacock, just in case they're not feeling as vicious that day. Because like I said, you want to paint what you're feeling. But I want to give everyone an option, because for the most part, for my workshops, I like them to be open-ended. Because if they don't want to paint that, that's fine too. Ask me how to paint your dog, or I would rather paint a tree, and that's perfectly fine. And then I do have a art show coming up at the Wandering Peacock. We're going to be doing that here this next Thursday. And the Wandering Peacock, like I said, is up in downtown Westfield. It's directly across the street from a new brewery called the Junction Brewery, and I hear that they have really good pizza and beer, so you can come up hungry. We'll provide a little wine and cheese.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Sarah, very much for coming on the show today and talking a little bit about your art, and being the first guest here on Spaceboy's Braingasm on 87.9 WBTM, The Bottom. All right, folks, we're going to listen to a little bit more of some Flatland Harmony here. We're going to have Shucking the Corn, Doing My Time. I'll be back with you in just a few.
When that old love looked down and smiled, I'm gonna put you on good before I go. Well, it won't be long, 'cause you won't please. Sit down and pick my rowdy ways on the road. Gotta be my time. When I got my eyes, she'll be waiting for me. When I got my time.
All right. Once again, that was some Flatland Harmony experiment for you. Once again, I want to thank you guys all for turning into my first show. The first episode ever of Spaceboy's Braingasm. It was a little rough at the start. I'm sure it'll get better from here. We will see you all next week, Sunday morning at 11, right here on WBTM 87.9, The Bottom. All right, we're going to kick it back over some more Flatland for you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday morning and afternoon.
Just over the line, we're just over the line. Just over the line. Crouching down with my face in my hands, drank so much it's hard to stand.